Alright, Sarah, where are we?
We're at the zoo!
We're at the zoo. I don't know if you can read it, but it says Dallas Zoo. It's like the biggest, most ominous sign I've ever seen. So, yeah, zoo time. So we started off at the zoo, and we decided to look for the elephants, because I was pretty excited to see the elephants. But Sarah got a little lost. On our way to find the elephants, we saw these pretty cool monkeys, and let me just say, they were very, very cool. Man, I wish I could do that. Then we decided to molest a few statues. Then we saw this statue of elephants, but still wasn't quite what we were looking for, so we continued our search. We ended up in the reptile house for a little bit. They had this really big alligator who was an albino alligator. Then we saw a bunch of lizards, like this little guy, and this big old guy. And this other big guy. This guy's eyes were all weird, and this crayfish was all like, "Come at me, bro." Then this little guy fell off a rock. And this one looked pretty derpy to me. This guy was just jamming out, having a dance party and whatnot. He must have been on these shrooms. Then we saw some snakes. This guy was huge. That one was hiding. And this one kind of looked like poop. Then there was these big long-necked turtles there too. And some frogs. Bow chicka wow wow. We finally left the reptile house and went and saw this anteater. Not as cute as Arthur. Then we saw this rhino. And this really freaky bird. Ugh, weird. And there was this big old tortoise. And this really beautiful looking cat. Then we saw this sign and we were like, yes, elephants! But we found penguins instead. Sarah was pretty excited about the penguins. We finally found the elephants, but unfortunately all of my footage of elephants mysteriously disappeared, so this is all we got. Sarah was still pretty excited about him though. Then we saw this lion. It was very lazy. And these two Pumbas. Oh snap! Somebody's mad. Finally, we also went to this giraffe exhibit, and they had it where you could feed the giraffe a leaf of lettuce. But this giraffe totally faked out everybody.
We just went to the zoo.
Alrighty, so our trip is coming to its end. We are on our way back to Oklahoma now, and the zoo is pretty awesome. What was your favorite part of the zoo, Sarah?
The lions.
There was a cheetah sitting out, and this little girl thought it was a female lion, and she was like, it's a girl lion. But the way that she said
it was a Goliath.
it was a Goliath. So cheetahs, lions. And my favorite part of the zoo was probably, I think the lions, because there was a whole group of lionesses sitting right next to the window, and that was pretty cool. So then after the zoo, we ended up going to the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum over in Grand Prairie, and that was pretty awesome. We went through the wax museum part and the actual auditorium part, and it was very cool. Here's some clips of that stuff. Where are we?
Ripley's Believe It or Not and Palace of Wax.
We're at that thing.
Ripley's.
Woo! So first Sarah made me go through the wax museum, which was not a good idea. We saw some Star Trek figures, and then a whole slew of presidents. Hi, Sarah. What's up, Obama? And there was Johnny Depp. And the Wizard of Oz characters. Johnny Cash. And all 3 versions of Michael Jackson. And then that guy. Then there was a whole big long section about Jesus, which was okay. But it seemed like it went on for a really long time. What's up, Jesus? Then we saw a whole bunch of fairy tale characters like Pinocchio and Captain Hook. Smee creeping in the background. And Peter Pan. Then there was some comic book characters. Batman, Catwoman, and Spider-Man creeping up there. Then there was a whole room full of good guys and bad guys. The bad guys side had Stalin, Hitler, and Saddam Hussein. The good guys side had Walt Disney, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and for some reason the Mona Lisa.
You were totally scared out of your pants.
The Wax Museum was the most terrifying crap I've ever been through in my entire life, okay? I have automatonophobia. If you don't know what that is, look it up. I'll put a link in the doobly-doo. So just the fact that they are wax figures was already terrifying enough. But then there was a section of the Wax Museum that was only scary stuff. It was like Freddy Krueger and, you know, Dracula and like vampires and witches and all kinds of terrible stuff.
There was Nosferatu.
Whatever, man. It was terrifying.
It was
an
awesome.
alien off of and Predator, and I was like, oh my gosh.
It was so cool.
It was scariest crap I've ever been through. And it wasn't just like we were walking past them. It was like dark and flashing, flickering lights and like music and sounds and people screaming and all kinds of crap. There was one part where there was a body hanging down, like in a bag, like a body bag hanging down. You had to like push your way past it. No, okay, it sucked. Then we made it over to the auditorium, thank goodness, and saw this really cool thing. A carving out of a camel bone, crazy. And a vampire killing kit. And this painting made out of stamps. Unfortunately, my camera was kind of dying at this point, so I don't have very much footage of the rest of the museum. Pretty much the only thing pennies are good for. And that was pretty much the end of our trip, but they had one of these cool coin spinny things, so I had to use that, of course. What was your favorite part of the Ripley's Museum, Sarah?
The House of Wax.
The House of Wax.
The Palace of Wax, yes.
Right, so the Palace of Wax. My favorite part was...
Not the Palace of Wax.
Not the Palace of Wax. My favorite part was probably the weapon room. There was this whole room, and it had all these crazy weapons made out of, like, bones of random things, like shark teeth and, like, metal and all kinds of stuff. And each one of the plaques, like, talked about what it was used for. I also really liked all the miniature stuff. There was, like... you know, carvings and pecans and paintings on the tops of pens and stuff. It was pretty nice. So I really like that part. Thank you for watching, and we had a really fun time, and we are going to go celebrate celebrate her birthday now. So happy birthday, Sarah. Yay. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye. Say bye to everybody. Say bye. Bye. Run, pigeons, run. Wow. We're coming for you, pigeons.